This is wild. We have been talking to you about this for almost a year now. You're not going to believe this. Now, you know there are 54 countries in Africa. You also know under President Donald Trump, the United States of America has been saying they don't really want too many immigrants in the country, especially if they are African immigrants. And you also should know that 8 to 9 months ago, the U.S. recalled 30 ambassadors to Africa. Now, I want to let you know something. We got to let you know something today because literally just like 5 minutes ago, the United States of America, under Marco Rubio, he was the spokesperson to announce this, said that those 30 ambassadors that are being recalled, well, only 20 of the current U.S. embassies are even going to exist. So we are going down from having 50 U.S. embassies on the continent of Africa. Remember, there's 54 countries, to having under 50% of the continent of Africa even having a U.S. embassy. There are only 20 locations in Africa that will have a physical embassy. You need to listen to this if you're an expat. You need to listen to this as a traveler. You need to listen to this if you're in the military. Everybody needs to listen to this because geopolitical tensions are rising and you are seeing the ramifications of living in a pre-World War III era. We are going to read these countries so that you know which countries still have an embassy, but this is crazy. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. What do you think is next? Because we actually said 8 months ago that this would probably happen next and that it was a sign of war. And if we just look back at 2026, 2026's anthem has been war. Venezuelan president captured, Iran, Israel, America war. The theme of 2026 has been chaos. WAR.
Yeah, it's chaos, guys. Look, so leave your comments below because I believe that this is this is something big. I know me and you we were just talking and I'm like, man, people really got to understand and have that discernment because we called this out 8 months ago. I'm not trying to say that this and that, but the Most High does talk to his people and let them know what is coming before it comes. So yes, now is the time to listen, but the most important one to listen to is the Most High because he's letting his people know what's going on. So please listen to these countries because I want to say these are the countries that you should be focusing on to go to. Because the question is, would you go to a country without your embassy in that country?
Yeah, let us know. Now, if you're someone that's like, what is the function of a U.S. embassy? What exactly does the U.S. embassy do? Well, I'm so happy to tell you that the U.S. embassy handles visa processing for nationals of the country they're in. So if they are in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, they're processing visas and application appointments for Congolese people who want to go to America. So those consular services, but they also serve Americans. So if somebody passes away, they usually contact the U.S. embassy. If somebody gives birth abroad, they definitely contact the U.S. embassy. If somebody has to be flown out for some emergency reason or they need for whatever reason to be on American territory within that country to get a social security number, things of that nature, they are going to a U.S. embassy because at the end of the day, what people don't realize is that when you get on the plane to leave the United States, that does not mean you're no longer a U.S. citizen. But let's get to these countries. These are the only 20 hubs that take effect in June. It's already June, y'all. It's already too late. These are the only 20 hubs that are available for U.S. consular services currently in Africa, meaning if you are in Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, your U.S. embassy is no longer functioning for those consular services. Now, let's read the 21s that are still functioning and are going to expand in the next couple of years. Abidjan, Ivory Coast, Accra, Ghana, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Cape Town, South Africa, Dakar, Senegal, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, Djibouti, Johannesburg, South Africa, Kampala, Uganda, Kigali, Rwanda, Kinshasa, Congo, Lagos, Nigeria, Lome, Togo, Luanda, Angola, Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, Monrovia, Liberia, Nairobi, Kenya, Port Louis, Mauritius, Cape Verde, Yaoundé, Cameroon. Okay, so these are the only countries. And wait, I can't believe this, guys. Wait just a minute. I forgot to announce that we have the State of the Diaspora
Hmm.
coming up literally on June 7th, days away, the 5-in-1 State of the Diaspora. This shows you the only countries that you should be relocating to. It's the urgent state of the diaspora. We are going to be breaking this down. Geopolitical tensions, being an expat. And here's the outcome that you get when you leave. You get to be connected to a community of over 50 clients across Africa and Asia and America and South America who are looking at diaspora travel, getting
Hmm.
residencies, getting their permits, or just going on vacation, doing business abroad. All of these people are in one group, not to mention the fact that you get the recording of the session after. It is truly one of a kind. There's nothing like it on the market, and it's $105 for you to go ahead and grab
Yeah.
that. So go ahead, check the link in the description. Now, I want you to pay attention to something here. These countries are different. So you have some in West Africa, some in East Africa, some in Southern Africa, and you should take note that even some countries that are technically still US visa free passport travel, like Botswana, they're not on the list. So we have a divide that's happening here, and nobody really knows for sure until it completely comes out. But it looks like relations are being realigned and seeing, do we
Hmm.
want to be in relation with these people? Seychelles is not on the list, okay? There may not be a lot of Americans in Seychelles. There may not be a reason for them to invest heavily in Seychelles anymore,
Yes.
perhaps, or they don't want Seychelles people coming over. But I want you to pay attention to the countries that are not said. Egypt, I thought that was interesting. I look at Egypt, and when I hear Egypt, I think geographically, Egypt is really right there in that Middle Eastern corridor where some of these Gulf states are going to have to identify and decide to align with America or Iran. Egypt is an Arabic country. And so that could have been a safety and security risk that America and the military thought could be an issue. So these are things that are playing behind the scenes that you need to consider as an expat if you are going to
Exactly.
Egypt, because you're
Yeah.
going to have to cross that border, not only cross that border, but you're going to have to hop down to Ethiopia
Exactly.
to be able to find a US embassy. If you lose your passport, like if you were to lose your passport in Egypt, can you
You
get
can't.
across the
Yeah.
embassy to Ethiopia?
Yeah, you're gonna have to get like an
I don't
emergency thing.
know.
But look, guys, these are the conversations that you need to have with people that wants to stay out of America, right? That wants to be sustainable out of America. You don't hear a lot of people talking about this stuff, and this is something sustainable that we need to talk about. Why are you gonna go to countries that's not going to be sustainable? That doesn't have a U.S. embassy. That's not going to have relations with the U.S. You get what I'm saying? So it is very important to know this information if you are serious about sustaining yourself outside of America. Like things are changing super fast. They're changing month after month, day after day. And it's not just in America. Of course, a lot of things happening in America, but also outside of America. So this is why we say the things that we do. Stay a diaspora. Check the link in the description because this information nobody is talking about, and this is going to uh, hit you in a long run. You get what I'm saying? Just 8 months ago, we was talking about this. You get what I'm saying? Now today, 8 months later, it's like, huh? We knew
Hmm.
something was going on. Oh, now it's hitting. Now it's June. They talking about they just passed this like I want to say a couple days ago or something,
Yep.
and said, yeah, this is gonna roll out in June,
Yep. So
and
they
it's
were
June.
already, it was already initiated on the
Yeah,
back end, but America came out and told you once it's already finished. Another thing I didn't notice that I just
information.
noticed just now, Namibia is not on the list.
Mm,
Okay. Mozambique is not on the list. Again, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, all these countries in Southern Africa are now countries that you should probably realign and relook at. We'll even change some things in our State of the Diaspora curriculum according to this geopolitical update, because this even restricts the true countries that you are going to go to. I think our new best countries, obviously, Mauritius, Rwanda, Senegal, Ghana,
Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah,
Those should probably be the only five. Madagascar is not even on the list. So this
yeah,
is a huge update for the expat world, because you cannot functionally live in these countries if they do not have good relations with the United States of America as an American. Now, if you're a Caribbean, if you're
yeah.
a different kind of African in
Passport.
the diaspora, a Nigerian passport holder, it could be different for you, but we are both American passport holders, have been Americans our whole lives. Our families have been American their whole lives. And so it's a little
Hmm.
bit different for those of us who have that circumstance. Y'all need to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think again. Some of the countries that are not listed: Tunisia, Morocco, Libya. No one is shocked about Libya, okay?
Sudan, South
Egypt,
Sudan.
I was shocked about Egypt. South Sudan and South Sudan. I mean, Sudan. Sudan and South Sudan is how I should say it. Not Democratic Republic of the Congo, Democratic area of Central Africa. I know I said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The country that's above the Congo. It's a little bit
Mm,
smaller. Guinea. Now, Equatorial Guinea is on the good list. They're going to be able to have their consulate services open it, but not regular Guinea. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Another underlying tone that you should look at is a lot of these are also Muslim countries. Okay. These are Islamic countries. These are countries that America just doesn't want to have much to do with. If you are someone of faith,
mm-hmm,
you may even decide not to go to an Islamic country anyway, because those tensions are going to rise at the end of the day. Remember, you are in a US Iran Israel war scenario, and you're dealing with people of very, very opposite beliefs, although they technically believe in the same book of the Abrahamic religions. They have totally opposite beliefs, and they are against each other in such a way that both think
mm-hmm.
they're fulfilling their part of prophecy by hurting the other side. Okay, so that's also an underlying current that we discuss in the state of the diaspora and needs to be discussed and open with the community right now here on this channel, because things are changing, and making the wrong move will cost you.
Yeah,
Like if
cost
you
you big
had
time.
a child and you were in Zimbabwe, well, now how are you going to get across the border to get that child a passport? Your nearest embassy would be what? South Africa. If you're in Zimbabwe, you would be having to go to Cape Town or Johannesburg.
Yeah, you might have to
These
have
are
someone babysit
logistical
to
situations.
leave because the baby can't go with you because they don't got no passport.
They have to go because they're not going to issue the passport without the baby there.
Yeah, so it's like it's confusing. That's
They're
why
not
it's
going to issue it
important
without
to
the baby there.
make it make sense. I know someone said this in mature adult intensive too. They say, yeah, things just it has to make sense. Like I'm paying this, I'm paying that, and it doesn't make sense. So it's coming down to a time where you have to go to a country where it's going to make sense. Please, please do that. Get the information. Get the information, please.
Yeah, and stay updated. So many people say we don't need to watch the news, we don't need to pay attention. Clearly, you do need to pay attention. If you're a human on Earth and you like plan on living on Earth, you should probably pay attention to what's going on in your country, in the territories that you're going to be in, so that you do not get caught slipping. Okay. But I think that's it for this video. Shalom, shalom. We'll see you in the next one. Check out the link in the description. Subscribe to members only if you want to see our life from Tanzania to Mauritius and see 100 plus videos, join 65 plus members. But I think that's it. This is wild. Kind of speechless.
Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all leave a comment down below.
Shalom, family.